Day in Frankfort, name, image, likeness. You know it best as NIL. Kentucky's best-known athletic director showed up in Frankfort today, hoping lawmakers will make the revenue stream to athletes permanent.
UK's Mitch Barnhart and U of L's Josh Hurd want lawmakers to let the schools directly pay student athletes. But as WHS 11's Alexandra Goldberg shows us from Frankfort, it's up to the schools to fund it.
We just want to say, hey, this is what we're doing to put you guys in the best position possible to be successful. And I think this legislation is doing that. So when our coaches are having those conversations about attending the University of Louisville or the University of Kentucky, it's like, hey, we're ahead of everybody else.
The two biggest figures in Kentucky athletics are in Frankfort for name, image, and likeness law, also known as NIL, that would authorize universities to directly pay student athletes for playing college sports.
Senate Bill 3 passes unanimously with favorable expression. Thank you, gentlemen, for that excellent presentation.
The Senate Education Committee approved Senate Bill 3, sponsored by Senate Majority Floor Leader Max Wise and supported by U of L Athletics Director Josh Hurd and UK Athletics Director Mitch Barnhart.
Quite honestly, institutions and the NCAA had a large majority of the power. And then with the approval of name, image, and likeness, that pendulum swung over here. And student athletes have a lot of power now.
Lawmakers say they don't want Kentucky to fall behind in the evolving national standard, a standard that athletics directors are confident will change because of a federal settlement, House versus NCAA, that is expected to reform NIL across the nation. Each institution would be able to spend up to $20.5 million on their athletes' NIL. But it's up to the schools to fund it.
The settlement will come in play July 1. This will give us the ability to directly compensate our student athletes through university funds and through third-party affiliations that we have, associated entities.
This bill would allow Kentucky's laws to be in compliance with what the federal NIL settlement could do for athletes. House versus NCAA is supposed to be finalized on April 7th and would be implemented on July 1st.
Things are changing quickly. It's important that we keep pace with the change in a way that ensures that we're successful and we can remain competitive on not just a state landscape, but a conference landscape, but a national landscape with our peers.
Barnhart says the university's main pillars are to put championship rings on fingers and diplomas in hand. But if this bill passes this session and the federal settlement is approved, student athletes would see a guaranteed check in the bank. In Frankfort, Alexandra Goldberg, WHS 11 on your side.
Name, image, and likeness was first established in the state through an executive order in 2022. This would codify NIL in state law and expand what it can do for athletes.